My name is Kathy Allred. I'm a reporter for the Daily Herald, and I have the opportunity today to speak with Dr. Dave Harding, who's running unopposed in District 5, with the exception of a write-in candidate whose name is, oh dear, Steve Hemingway. Excuse me.
But for it to count, you have to write in Hemi, H-E-M-I, for it to count.
Oh, I didn't know that. Not his name.
Not his name. He felt it's too difficult to write out his full name, so just H-E-M-I, Hemi, will be the vote for him.
Well, thanks for doing that for him. I didn't know that. Okay, how are you today?
I'm doing great.
Yeah?
You?
Great, except one thing. Before
All right.
I start asking you all these questions I'm supposed to ask,
Okay.
what's the Dr. Dave deal?
What's the Dr. Dave? Well, I'm a doctor, not like a medical doctor, but I'm a doctor because I have earned a PhD. So in material science.
Which is?
The study of the materials we use in society around us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
Let's
right
do.
Now, let's get down to the brass tacks.
Let's do it.
Number one, Provo has topped many lists in the past few years. What list would you like to see Provo on as number one, and why?
As number one, and why? Well, I think we've actually topped a couple that I would say. I mean, when it comes down to it, it's quality of life. I think that is the premier list to be on. So if we were to maintain and be number one for quality of life, I think that would be a great one. Best place to live, because it incorporates a lot of things. We are very good for a place to raise a family. I think that goes into our quality of life. We're high up on our recreational opportunities, the great outdoor opportunities we have all around us. But yeah, I would love, yes.
I'm going to intrude.
Please.
For those of us who don't live in Provo, such as said reporter, how does Provo rate for the quality of life currently?
Currently, I want to say it depends on which study. Everyone uses a different algorithm, but I think we've been number one on some of the lists and top 5 for others.
I didn't
so
know that.
Very high. I'll let you in on a little secret though. Often these ratings are based on the metropolitan area, which includes Orem and Lehigh and all of that.
Oh.
So when Provo's being trumpeted as number one, it's actually more often it's the whole valley.
Good to know, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else on that? We'll move on to number 2.
Let's do it.
All right. All the candidates in Provo are talking about maintaining the city's
Quality of life.
very good. What area do you think Provo needs to improve in to maintain and improve that?
Quality of life. Okay, improve on and maintain. A lot has been talked about retail and the sales tax that goes along with it. Now, retail is just one part of our business and commercial community, but it is an important one. I don't think we're doing as bad as maybe the impression is, but I definitely think we need to do better. And I'd say that the area that we need to do, the reason why that's important is if people cannot find the type of products, the type of stores that they want to frequent inside the city, they have to travel further out. And I think that is the biggest impact on our quality of life. So I would like to see us be able to bring in the types of stores that people who live here want to shop at, and in locations that are convenient to them. There is a lot of difficulty for our West Side residents to get to a grocery store, and so it would be great for the retail to reach out and to become convenient for everyone. To maintain the quality of life, the reason we need to maintain it is because the projections are that we're going to grow. When you're the best place to live, people want to live there, and we also have our kids that don't want to leave, and so we are going to be growing, and we need to make sure that we grow smart so that we can maintain that quality of life. There's certain things that we need to make sure that we don't forget who we are, you know, and as we go off, you know, chasing things. But we also may need to approach things differently. You know, just because we do the same things that we've done in the past may not mean that we get the same results, particularly as we grow. I think transportation is a simple, easy answer, or, example of this. If we're going to double the number of people on our roads, not just our own population, but people come in here for business and for government and for school and all that, if we double the number of people on our roads, we can't just double the number of lanes that we have and expect to maintain our quality of life. We need to be able to move a greater number of people more conveniently, and we'll need to look at alternatives to just automobile traffic to do that.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Here we go. How are you going to do that? No. Budget and the economy are always a priority in Provo and with its residents. What concerns you about the city's budgets and the current economic base? That ties in with just what you talked about.
Exactly. So retail is a hot topic right now, and it seems like we're always said that things are in the works, and so it'll be great when we start seeing maybe a little bit more of what's in the works now coming to fruition. We have lost some. Shopko and Kmart are two recent examples of retail stores that we no longer have. I do think we have a strong base, and I do think we've got a promising road ahead for our retail. And I would say that's one of the biggest economic questions or difficulties, challenges that we're facing right now. And so we are going to need a concerted effort to build up our retail a little bit better. Again, convenience stores, places that people want to shop in places that they want to shop. Stores they want to shop in the locations they want them. As far as economics, budget a little bit broader. I think that we have taken some great steps in the last few years to put us on a more stable footing. I think in the past, we may not have been fully funding the services that we've received. And an example of this is the water infrastructure. We have tried to maintain our infrastructure, but at some point, and that point is getting very near, we need to replace that infrastructure. And we have not been paying towards that replacement. But in the past few years, we have, the City Council and the administration have been willing to raise the funds necessary for those longer-term projects. The Utility Transportation Fund, I think, is another example of this, where before we were bonding, every 10 years, and we were falling further and further behind, and it's a more expensive way to go about doing that. But we're no longer bonding for our roads, but we've implemented a new fee that will allow us to pay as we go, which is a much more efficient way to do that.
Clarification on that.
Yes.
Is what you're saying they did not have a 5-year replacement plan in place? Like, they didn't plan out how they were going to replace infrastructure before, and now they do?
Which infrastructure are we talking about? Like the water?
Like the water.
Like the water,
as the example.
I think we were doing kind of a pay-as-you-go, but just paid to maintain, but not set aside some, knowing that we're going to have to replace at some point.
Okay,
And
gotcha.
so now we're paying more. Actually, we're paying quite a bit more, and our rates have been going up. But a lot of that is to cover what hadn't been paid for in the past. In the years past, we weren't paying our share. We were consuming more than we were paying, and now our rates are going up because we have to correct for that.
Okay. The council, the city council, and administration have varied roles in the running of the city. Are their roles in sync, or does it need to improve? And how would you improve the role of the council?
They do have varied roles. Are they in sync, or do they need to improve? It may depend on the way that you look at the role of the council and the role of the administration. I think in general they have been in sync, meaning that they've been working together, but I think it is important that our government has been set up with these different branches. And I think that there's an important dynamic between the two of them. I don't think it would serve the public if the council and the administration were fully in sync as far as never challenging each other. I think it's important. I think we get good growth and we get better outputs if there's a challenge. You're a writer.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
what I was meant is, now the word escapes me. You go ahead.
Okay. You know, I think we've all written something in the past, whether it's a term paper or a letter to the editor or something. And if you've written something and you want it edited, who do you ask to edit? You don't necessarily ask someone who doesn't like you and kind of wants you to fail, but you also don't pick someone who's going to say, oh, this is wonderful, this couldn't get any better. You want someone who's going to maybe push back against the weaker areas, be critical, but because they want it to be the best that it can be along with you. And so you're looking for someone to partner with you, but who will still challenge you, still push you, still push back a little bit. And so I think that's the ideal role between the administration and the council. You know, as we come up with ideas, or as the administration comes up with ideas, we need to push back and say, well, I don't know if I like this. Well, how can we make this better? But with the same end goal of providing the best government we can for the people of Provo.
Good answer. The word I forgot was discord. I think discord among council members, I don't know if there is any, but what do you think of the council working together as a group?
I sat in on the council meeting when they approved the budget, and there were a number of issues that they voted on. There were probably 5, 6, 7 votes that evening, and all of them were fairly high stakes. And as we were looking at the budget, different aspects of the budget were voted on separately, and a number of those votes went, 2-5, 4-3 votes. Everyone, as an observer watching it, it sounded like everyone got their voice. Everyone got to advocate for what they thought was best. They came down, they voted, and one idea won and the other one didn't, and then they moved on to the next one. And it didn't seem like there was any hard feelings there. That it was not, it wasn't the same people voting the same way each time. Those splits moved around, and at the end it seemed like everyone was relatively happy that they may not have got what they wanted, but at least they felt like their voice was heard. And so far I think the council works very well that way, that no one's ignoring or discounting their own ideas just to get that consensus. Everyone's advocating, but in a healthy, helpful way.
Let me ask you a yes or no question, then we need to move on. I'm sure they're
Let's do it.
waiting for us to be done. Yes or no? Do you think you would be an apt fit in the council?
I will say yes. I will say yes, based on the interactions I've already had with council members and interactions I've had as a neighborhood chair.
Let's
You want me to stop there? All right.
Good answer.
All right. Yes, I do.
Guess what? This one says open to you.
Open to me.
Yes.
Okay.
What I usually say is there anything you wish I would have asked you that has come to mind that you would like to say something about?
Well, I wouldn't mind introducing myself just a little bit.
I didn't do that?
Well, maybe a little bit more.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. I'm a father to 4 children and 1 wonderful wife. My family roots go way back in Provo, to the foundation of Provo. I love my family. I love my neighbors. I love my district. I love my city, and that's why I wanted to be on the council, because I feel like I can serve my family and the community best at this time in this position. I want a good home for my kids and their kids. We were talking earlier, I'm an engineer and a scientist, and as an engineer, it's my job to come up with elegant solutions to complex problems. And as a scientist, I've been trained to question, the numbers that are presented, question opinions, question assumptions. And so I think I've got a good background that I think I'll be able to contribute to the council.
I'm going to have to ask you more about that engineering
Okay.
major someday,
All right.
but not right now. I think we're done. We were supposed to close with something. I don't remember what it was.
Well, just look into the camera and say, Dr. Dave for District 5.
Very good.
And vote on November 3rd.
Yes, remember to vote.